will be fun, I'm sure. Cool. Oh, when I eventually get my brain working after... Didn't have your dice out, Darren.
I am completely unprepared for life in general. I don't know how I've made it this far.
Do you know what? I ask myself that question every morning. I wake up. How did I get here? Yeah. How did I get here? Where am I going? When can I have some ice cream? Welcome back, listeners, to Tales from the 20 Side, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom. I'm your GM for this game and for many others, and I'm joining you with a more svelte cast this week. I'm joined by Stu.
I'm not svelte at all. Quite the opposite.
Hi, Stu.
Yeah. And I'm
not svelte at all.
And I'm joined, a very welcome back, by Darren.
Hello. How you doing?
Back to the podcast.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Obviously, the observant people among you will have noticed that this is the smallest 20-side cast I've ever had for a record. It's mostly because, well, there's numerous reasons. Basically, Amy is busy with new job stuff. Asta's not feeling very well, but it ties up quite nicely because, we're gonna have a little. We're going to have a little deep dive into what Amos is doing, into what Amos has been doing for the last X number of weeks at this point. But before we do that, how you been, guys? It's been a little while.
I have been well. Now, I wasn't for a little bit. I got COVID, and then I got better, and I went back to work for a few days, and I got fucking ill again. And then I think that all just made me really, really down, and my head came off for a bit. But now my head's going in the right direction. I'm just bloody knackered from doing stuff all the time.
I mean, if nothing else, it looks like your head is at least attached this time. So
yes, it is attached, and it doesn't have a hangover.
For once.
I mean, that said, you're wearing a black t-shirt, sat in a black chair, with a black cabinet behind you, so
that's true.
You know,
maybe
That's
Darren's head has become Holly. Yeah.
All right, dudes.
I'm desperately trying to think of Red Dwarf quotes then, and nothing came into my head.
Yep, no, I was exactly the same. Red Dwarf was one of my favourite shows when I was growing up, and now I can't remember any of it because I haven't watched it in years.
That's how badly I've not been functioning as a human being, because I can normally communicate via only film and TV quotes if I need to.
Quotes.
Yeah. Now I've got nothing, just a blank space up there.
You've got Smeghead, you've got They're All Dead Dave. I think that's the entirety of the Red Dwarf script right there, isn't it?
That's most of it. It's most of it. You see, the problem with travelling faster than the speed of light is by the time you've seen something, you've already passed through it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a personal favourite of mine.
Yes. Smeehy.
I've got me pants. I think that was an outtake.
One I'm very surprised we haven't heard more often on this podcast is change of plan, leggings. Oh dear.
Have you guys had Neil back for any? Or is he still busy?
He's still Mr. Monopolising.
Yeah.
Is he still doing that? Oh wow.
Yeah, he got offered like a massive extension. He's through till June, I think you said, Stu.
No, because we were going to do a documentary in June. Through till August.
Oh wow, bloody hell!
So it's scuppered June.
Yeah,
June did play a part in that. Yeah,
I mean they must really like him as Miss Monopoly then. Must be killing it. I have to try and get over it at some point.
Absolutely. We have to do a 20-side outing.
Exactly. Oh, that'd be amazing. And the best thing is we should organise it and just not tell him. So so that when he has to take us around, he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, you chuckle fucks! What you doing here?"
We would be putting him on red alert, but it would mean changing the ball. Oh, this entire episode's just going to be Red Dwarf quotes here.
Do you know what? I'm entirely okay with that. I've got all the DVDs from when DVDs were still a thing. I have. It's like the only box set that I still own, because obviously everything is streaming these days. I've still got all my Red Dwarf DVDs. I haven't watched them in years. I might have to crack them out tonight after we're done recording.
I have got the director's cut of Rocky 4 turned up in the post today.
Nice.
I ordered myself the 4K steelbook because nerd.
Why not?
Yeah, and so for the last few nights I've been watching Rocky 1, 2 and 3, and I might watch 4 tonight. I might finish this podcast and just pass out on the floor crying, I don't know.
Yeah.
The world is my oyster.
It's a coin toss. The world is definitely your oyster. Yeah. I noticed you didn't mention Rocky Balboa. Have you skipped that one out of defiance?
Which one's that one? Is that 5?
I can't remember. I know there was one called Rocky Balboa, and it always confuses me because it doesn't have a number. I'm like, oh, which one is that then?
Wasn't that the more recent one? Because it was about his son.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, the one where he's like running a restaurant and he ends up going back to fighting.
That sounds about right.
Man. Spoilers.
Spoilers for a 5-year-old film, Stu, at the very least.
But also a Rocky film where he fights someone.
Yeah.
and wins. No, I think he loses in that one. You'll have to watch it and find out, won't you?
That's it. We'll have to collectively go and watch Rocky Balboa to see exactly what's been going on. But speaking of Rocky, actually, now you know what? It's been a bit. We've still got 3 minutes before I need to get back into the game. Let's talk a bit more. So,
okay.
aside from Red Dwarf and Rocky 4, what have you guys been watching recently?
I have been watching and replaying at the same time The Last of Us. Now, I think the series has been great, although I think when I go back and watch it, which I inevitably will, in like one sitting, it will feel really short and sort of truncated.
Yes.
But playing it alongside the game has been fun, and I will watch anything with Pedro Pascal in, because I think he's awesome, and I just want him to give me a hug.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a very huggable man.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean.
I watched him.
Pedro Pascal, if you are listening by some crazy coincidence to this podcast, we fucking love you on Tales from 20 Side. Please come and give myself and Darren, and maybe Stu as well if he's into it, just a nice little cuddle and a little pat on the head. Tell us it's all going to be okay, and we'll believe you.
I wouldn't say no to a part in season 2 of Last of Us either. I'll smash it, mate. I'll smash it.
Yeah. Who would you play if you have a choice?
Oh, some horrible bastard. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just this morning before I went off to class, I set Last of Us Part 2 downloading again on the PlayStation, so I might make a start on that tonight and refamiliarise myself with it.
Nice. So you say you're playing the game alongside watching the series. Are you like watching an episode of a series, then playing that bit of the game, and then waiting to play more before you watch the next episode?
No, I watched a few episodes, and then it got me wanting to play the game again, so I went out and picked it up, and then just have been burning through the game. So by the time I'd sort of I've lost me. My brain stopped working. Brain fart. I was very near the end of the series by the time I'd started playing the game again, but I've been hammering through the game. So, and I finished it last night. And I think they've done a fantastic job on that series. Really good.
Yeah, I've still yet yet to watch it, but obviously from talking mostly to you guys on this, it really sounds like they've put just a lot of love and attention to detail into making it not exactly the same as the game. Like we talked about this before, you want some differences, but it's certainly the impression I get is that it's very faithful to the source material.
It really is. They changed some stuff, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, and that works really well. And then there's other bits where they've left stuff out, and I've been like, oh, that's a shame. But
I really wish I could have seen.
Yeah, on the whole, it's been a lot of fun to watch, and normally with stuff like that's adapted from video games, I don't ever really have high hopes because I've been burned too much in the past.
Well, that's it. There have been so many kind of video game tie-ins in general over the last sort of 20, 30 years that have just been terrible for whatever reason. Because mostly it's because the people making it sort of see it as a quick cash grab. They don't really care about what they're making. Whereas I certainly get the sense that with Last of Us, that the people making it really care about what they're making.
Yeah, well, I think having Neil Druckmann involved from the get-go, and I really appreciated them using the music from the game as well.
Oh, have they done that?
Yeah,
they just used the same music.
The score from the game is stunning. So, yeah, it's a solid show, if a little short.
Nice. Well, speaking of things that are solid but perhaps a little short, let's get back into our game, folks. What do you reckon?
Go on then.
Well, before we do, I've got a quick question about Last of Us, because I've got all the episodes lined up ready to watch, but I have never played the game.
Right.
Do you recommend I play the game first, or am I okay to watch the series and then that might inspire me? Or
I would say do it different. Watch the series first, and then play the game.
Cool.
Yeah. Do it that way, and then you can let me know what you think.
Yeah, will do. And I've been watching Picard season 3. Anyway,
nice. Yeah, sorry. I framed that as a let's all talk about it, and then of course because we haven't seen Darren for ages, Darren had fucking loads to say.
Sorry, I'll shut up now.
It's all good. It's all good.
I talk about Star Trek enough on this podcast as it is. So.
Yeah, you have. Stu, I feel like you have about 4 different podcasts on which you all talk about Star Trek on.
Pretty much.
Have you thought about
started doing short videos?
Oh right, okay.
on YouTube as well about just like batshit crazy theories. They're getting like huge amounts of hits at the moment. I'm getting like 3,000 hits a day.
What on Ed is Explored?
No, this is YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Just Star Trek.
Damn, nice.
Weird shit. Yeah.
Nice. What do you think has prompted that then?
I think just the popularity of Picard at the moment, because it's still running at the moment. Just had episode 5.
I suppose it's like the fresh thing. It's the fresh new thing, so people are watching it right now. Yes.
I didn't realise when you said Picard, I just sort of immediately started thinking Next Gen. I forgot that they'd done the Picard series. I've not actually watched any of that yet. So I'll add that to my list.
It's the best Picard season there's been so far.
The last Star Trek I watched was Discovery, so do need to watch Picard at some point. I've added it to my ever-growing list of stuff that I air quotes need to watch and probably never will have time to.
It's relentless.
It really is.
It's this is just so much stuff.
Yeah, it's like my partner in Finland. She watches like a lot of like the popular TV and the cult TVs and all the new TV things that are out. And like I go to talk to her and she's like, "Oh my god, have you seen the new thing?" And I'm like, I haven't seen the last 10 things you told me I need to watch yet. We're going to have to temper our expectations a little bit. It's going to take a while.
I still haven't finished The Wire.
I haven't got round to Lost yet.
Don't bother. No great loss there.
Yeah, Breaking Bad, absolutely, but Lost, it was fun and interesting for a while until...
And then it wasn't.
It wasn't, yeah, and it really wasn't. But yeah, I know quite a few people that have not got around to Breaking Bad yet. But once you've done that, then you have to go and do Better Call Saul. Because that's fantastic as well.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. I've watched all of Better Call Saul. I've only ever watched like a season and a half of Breaking Bad. I could never get into Breaking Bad. Just never really did it for me. But Better Call Saul, yeah, as you say, fantastic. I love that show. It's really, really good.
And that's the guy who was nearly Michael Scott in The Office.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Bob Odenkirk. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. That said, I cannot imagine anybody other than Steve Carell as Michael Scott at this point. But that's...
It's been a long time since I've watched The American Office.
Yeah, he almost beat him.
When I can't decide what to watch, which happens often, you know what it's like. You fire up Netflix and then you spend 45 minutes scrolling rather than
trying
just going to your watch list. You're like,
yes.
So I always end up just being like, we'll just always put It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on again and fall asleep.
To be fair, that show is very much chewing gum for the brain.
I love it.
It's so easy. It's so easy just to put it on and do almost literally anything else, even if that anything else is nothing. I like it for that exact reason, because it's so easy to watch. It's good fun.
It's so much fun watching Danny DeVito be a disgusting human being. It's fantastic.
And for me, the best thing about it is you can tell he's really enjoying doing it.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. Yeah.
It's like he's spent most of his career being this sort of slightly gangster type actor, and then actually he's been given this show where he just gets to be a dirty old man. and you can really tell that he's just in his element. He's incredible.
Yeah. I love Dennis in that show.
Oh yeah. That's it. I mean, to start with, when I first started watching Always Sunny, I didn't like it initially because I was like, "This is awful. These are all awful people. I don't like any of the characters." And then about halfway through season 1, I realised that's the point. You're not supposed to like them. These examples of human beings are supposed to be depraved and disgust you.
Yeah, they're horrendous human beings.
That's it. You just need to enjoy it and be along for the ride, basically. This. Thank you for linking that in the chat in the chat, Stu.
That was for you to look at after the recording.
Well, my phone buzzed and I couldn't ignore it. I've now put it on the other side of the room, so I can't touch it anymore. But anyway, we have accidentally slipped back into the pre-game. So let's get back into the actual game, I reckon. Cool. So as mentioned at the start of this episode, we do have a reduced cast this evening. However, that's not going to stop us That's not going to get in the way of us telling a little story, having a little adventure. So I know we talked a little bit about this off air, Darren. How much do you remember, if anything, of the last time we played together?
I remember the rock dude vaguely because you mentioned him 15 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty much where we're at.
Fair enough.
I am a terrible human being.
You are a busy human being. You have a life, and life is demanding. That's all, not a problem. So I'll give you. I'll try and give you the Cliff Notes version of kind of where you currently find yourself.
Okay.
So obviously your little group of misfits, having done all your shenanigans regarding clock towers and dragons and urban renewal, you might say. you started a rebellion in the city of Whitethrone with your friends in the Knights of Summer's Return,
Yes.
so that you could make your way into this forest in the market square that had appeared, so you could find Baba Yaga's dancing hut. As you explored this forested area, you came across a few things. You came across an individual standing in the middle of a lake who spoke to you in incredibly pretentious terms. I think Amos wanted to punch him in the face, but the rest of the party pulled him away before that could happen. However, Amos may yet get his chance. So you escorted a lost woman out of the forest. Her name was Casey Haran. She marked the rest of the party with some of her blood. Amos was a bit sus of her.
Yeah, I remember that.
So he didn't accept that blessing, which is, understandable. I think this bit you might have missed. The party did actually find the dancing hut, but it was kind of encased in a bubble of magic or force or something.
Yeah.
You met Najena Vasilievna, who was one of the White Witches, again also trapped in a bubble. She told you that if you wanted to pass to get to the hut, you would have to disable the magic that was creating this bubble. However, she also warned you that doing so would free her from the bubble, and she was not. She didn't mince her words. She told you that as soon as she was free, she was going to kill you for various reasons, various slights that you visited upon her.
The groups, or just me specifically?
The group.
Okay, that's all right then.
Yeah, not you specifically.
Excuse me.
Yeah, actually, when I said the group, I meant Darren. She threatened Darren.
Fucking bring it on then. Let's have it, love.
No, she did threaten the group because you had previously, a long time ago, you sacked the Pale Tower, which she's the mistress of. In doing so, you killed Radosek, who was her apprentice / lover. She was not very happy with you as a result. But yeah, so you went deeper into the forest. You rescued a father and his 2 children. Air quotes, rescued them from a house that
the tree house
was trapped in
thing.
a tree.
Yeah.
You rescued them in a very destructive manner, some might say. And then you progressed into part of the forest where you met the individual known as Ravathiel. This individual sort of dressed in sort of very fine silks, who had sort of large rocks floating around his arena. Now, this bit I'm pretty sure you weren't here for, Amos. I'm pretty sure it got close to kicking off with Ravathiel for various reasons. And then Della basically was trying to find a way to resolve the situation without violence. And she had noticed that he was playing a flute. And so she challenged him to a flute off. To which he delighted by this offer. He obliged. He indulged Della, and Della actually managed to be successful in this exchange. And in exchange, he offered you a number of things. So he offered you a whole bunch of information, which I'm sure Stu can fill you in on.
Going well, lads.
Fortunately, if you go back and listen to insert episode number here, then you will get all the answers you desire.
There you go. The party asked a whole bunch of questions about the forest and about the dancing hut and about this ritual that they seem to be doing, and eventually you were able to get Ravathiel to agree to not help you per se, but also not to hinder you. The agreement you reached was that if the party could So this magical ritual was being powered from 3 places within the forest. Ravathiel and his 2 siblings were basically responsible for it. He told you that if your group were to shut down the other 2 parts of the ritual, so basically defeat his other 2 siblings, he would drop his part of the ritual of his own accord. At which point the party went off to go and find Zephimeri, who was one of Ravathiel's siblings, and Amos decided to stay behind in order to make sure that Ravathiel wasn't going to try and double cross them or anything like that, which was basically my way of getting Amos out of a narrative for how long you're away for.
Right.
Cool. Does that kind of make sense? Do you have a rough idea of where you might be?
Could you just go over that once again, please? No, that makes perfect sense.
There you go. Insert last 10 minutes of recording here.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, so we bring ourselves back in. Amos, it has been a few hours since your comrades. So this, I'll remind you what this area kind of looks like. It is a wide clearing in the forest. Perhaps 80 to 100 feet across. In the centre of the clearing, there is a raised stone platform through which is growing a large green oak tree. Around the edges of the clearing, there looks to be 6 boulders that are essentially orbiting the stage itself. They're not orbiting super fast, certainly if you were to walk past them, you're in no danger of being sort of struck by them, or that kind of thing. There are 3 exits to this clearing. There is an exit toward the south, which you know is where you encountered the treehouse. There is an exit to the west, which you know links toward where the dancing hut is, and is currently in this bubble of magic. And there is an exit to the northeast, which your party members exited down a few hours ago. And basically, since the rest of the party left you, Amos, you've perhaps just been relaxing, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Okay.
Perhaps you've been making some light conversation with Ravathiel, who, as a reminder, is this individual with sort of very tawny skin, hair a little bit like flame, dressed in sort of luxurious silks of greens and golds, and his eyes sort of beam with a burning radiance from behind it. At any points where you've not been talking to each other, he has been basically lounging in this large oak tree, and just playing some music on his flute. And with all of that in mind, Amos, as we focus once again on Brother Amos, what would you like to do?
So I'm waiting for the party to return, am I?
Yes. So that certainly was the intention. Obviously, you are not beholden to do that. Like if Amos decides he's gotten bored of waiting, maybe he'll go and find them. Maybe he'll wander off into the sunset and never be seen again.
Oh, I don't know. What do I want to do? Sorry, what's the fella's name again?
Ravathiel. The party nicknamed him Rocky.
Rocky, okay. I think, just to pass the time, Amos is going to challenge Ravathiel to an arm wrestling competition.
Okay, so you sort of say this, and as Ravathiel is there piping his flute, piping his flute. I've said it. I'm not taking it back. I know exactly. I've got to get used to the fact that everything I say around you can be an innuendo, Darren, because it's been a while.
This is true.
Yeah. So he is piping away on his flute. I've said it. There you go. Got him. Piping away on his flute in his tree, and he sort of looks down as he finishes one of his pieces. Are you all right down there? You're looking dreadfully bored.
I am bored.
Well, how can we make things more interesting for you, my friend? Your friends have been gone for some time already. Don't know when they're going to return. An arm wrestling, my dear boy. Look at these arms. Do you really think I'm suited to that manner of entertainment? But yes, I accept.
Good, because it was going to be a thumb war if he didn't want to arm wrestle. Or rock, paper, scissors.
All right. So Ravathiel finishes sort of playing a tune on his flute, and he hops down from the tree. Just one moment. You see he paces around the tree a few times, checking what look to be some glowing runes on the stone itself. You see he stops briefly at one of them, sort of lifts a finger up, which starts to glow for a second. You see he scratches out part of the rune and replaces it with a new line from his finger. And he said, "Excellent. Sorry, just had to take care of a little housekeeping there. An arm wrestle, you say? I'd be happy to accept, my good man. What was your name again?"
Amos. My name is Amos.
Amos, yes, I'd almost forgotten it because you were so quiet amongst the rest of your group before. Very well, an arm wrestle. Come over here, my dear boy.
Okay. Amos will limber up.
Yeah, Amos limbs up. You see Ravathiel sort of lies. He lies down on the edge of this stage, sort of looking towards you, and he sets his hand on the edge of the stone platform, offering it towards you. Well then, ready when you are.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so you go to grasp his hand, and as you go to grasp his hand, just as you're about to take his hand, he snatches it away from you, and he says, "Oh, one small thing, I suppose. A game like this is much more exciting with a wager, wouldn't you say?"
I actually agree.
Yes. Very well then. What are the stakes then, my dear boy? What are we gambling for today?
I don't think Amos has got much on him. I think Alwyn's got all the bloody money.
Maybe true.
How about...
Offer me something exciting, won't you?
How about my katars?
Your katars, eh? These knives with which you punch and you stab, yes?
Yeah, and they're very well made.
They do appear to be. Are they magical, Darren? I can't remember.
No.
They're just regular old daggers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, so you sort of place them. You place the katars on the stone slab, and he sort of looks at them and he says, "My, they're a little dull, aren't they?" I tell you what, though, I think we have our wager. If you win this little arm wrestle bout, I will jazz one of those up for you. What do you say? I'll make them a little bit more special.
I was actually going to suggest the very same thing.
And in return, if you lose, something exciting for me.
I'm not doing anything sexual.
My dear boy,
you're your flute, mate.
My dear boy, you are not my type. I'm quite capable of piping my own flute. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've noticed.
But yes, what shall we ask in return? What is on your side of the table, so to speak? I tell you what. How about we have the main event first? If you lose, and looking at you, you look fairly strong. Perhaps we can come up with something. I'll come up with something afterwards. What do you say?
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
very well then.
To stave off this boredom.
All right then. Arms up, and he offers his hand to you once more.
Okay. I take his hand.
You take his hand, all right, and you're going to go for an arm wrestle. So he looks you in the eye and he says, "Now then, Amos, make sure you don't go easy on me, because I shan't go easy on you."
Don't you worry about that.
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Roll athletics for me, Amos.
Okay. $29.
29. Okay, so you, as he says the word 3, years of practicing this. You know exactly how this goes. If you can knock, and looking at him, he looks like you can probably knock him out in one fell swoop. You tense your arm and you go to slam the arm down on the stonework, and for as wiry as Ravathiel is, there is a considerable degree of strength there. His arm does move, but nowhere near to the degree that perhaps you were expecting. That's not a bad start. Can you keep it up? Make another athletics roll.
30.
30. Okay. Once again, you've this time gritting your teeth and tensing your muscle. You start to heave him down, and yeah, he's resisting you. Just about, but you're making progress, and you can see the tiniest bead of sweat forming on his forehead that kind of runs towards his eyes and then evaporates. He says, "Oh my, quite the feisty one you are, aren't you?" And he once again he pushes back. Let's have another athletics roll.
30 again.
30, fucking hell. So once again, you grit your teeth. Perhaps you let out a scream of tension and rage. As you push him further down. His hand is agonizingly close to the rock surface as he's tense, and he's holding you there. It's like, I'm not done yet. One last athletics check.
16.
16, okay. This time, with a surge of strength in his own arm, he starts to force you back up to that midway point, and he looks you in the eye, flashes a wide toothy smile. You see a glint of light flash off. I told you not to get complacent. Athletics roll, please, Amos.
28.
28. And as he says this, I told you not to get complacent. Almost without him realizing it, you have managed. You slam the hand down onto the stonework beneath him, and he holds there, just flashing you that smile for a second, and then his body kind of catches up his brain kind of catches up with where his body's at, and he looks down at his hand. Oh, seems you won, dear boy. Congratulations, as you have won the arm wrestle with Ravathiel.
Yes. Now magic up my katars, like you said you would.
Of course, but of course, a deal is a deal, and I've been nothing but honourable so far. Now tell me, what flavour of enhancement would you like? Would you like something minor but permanent, or something powerful but temporary?
Ooh, minor but permanent.
Minor but permanent. You have yourself a deal, sir. And he takes both your katars from you, and you see he begins once again. His finger lights up, and he begins to trace runic symbols onto each of your two katars. I will let you know what you have off air, Darren, because I don't have a list of runes in front of me. Certainly your katars are given back to you, Amos, and they appear to have a shiny glowing rune on each of them.
Fantastic. What would you like to do now?
What would I like to do now, dear boy? I have more housekeeping I need to take care of. I need to make sure this ritual is humming along as it should be, until your friends return triumphant. It's been a few hours though. Are you sure you don't wish to see where perhaps where they've gotten to? I mean, with strength such as yours on their side, they would be practically unstoppable.
You know what? You're right. I think I'll go for a little wander.
Tatty, bye now. Be safe, Amos.
Bye. I will strut off, spinning my new sexy katars.
Yeah. So, which path would you like to take, Amos?
What are my options? Left or right?
So there are 3 exits from this clearing. The southern exit leads back towards where you rescued the man and his children from the house. The western exit goes back to kind of the main entrance of the forest and is where you found the dancing hut along with this magical bubble. And the northeastern exit is where your companions left.
Yeah, I'll take that. The northeast path. I'll walk whichever way that I'm expecting them to come back. Yeah,
fair enough. So you go on, sorry.
No, sorry, I was just going to say I'm not wording very well.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm not doing English very well either today. It's been a long day looking at cables and too many things from heights. Never mind. Right, so yeah, you begin progressing off to the northeast, Amos, and you're trekking through the forest once more, and even though it's been a few hours since your companions kind of travelled this way, the light level in the forest does not appear to have changed. Like you're completely enclosed by the canopy here. You've got no idea what time of day it is outside of where you are, but you progress along this kind of tunnel of trees through the forest for not for a great deal of time. You progress through it for perhaps a couple of minutes, and eventually come across another clearing. And straight away, as you enter this clearing, you come across. The first thing you know is that this clearing also has two exits on the far side of it. One heading off to the northwest, one heading off to the northeast. And immediately as you enter this clearing, you can see that there are signs of a battle that took place here. You see there are, at the far end of the clearing, there is a collection of 3 humanoid-looking bodies, all dressed in armour of silvers and blues. There was a 4th body heading off toward the northeastern passage, and in the middle of a pool of what looks to be relatively fresh blood. Perhaps in the last, certainly in the last day or so. This scene is just an absolute scene of carnage. You see You see the unmoving forms of two winged creatures that have kind of stag's antlers, the bodies of hawks, and the heads of wolves lying motionless and dead on the ground. One of which has a hole in its chest, and there is a cavity where you would expect its heart to be.
Did you say the body of?
It is the body of. I'm just going to check that real quick. Oh, it is. So it is the body. It's the body of a stag, with like a stag's antlers, the hind legs and wings of a hawk, and the head of a wolf.
Wow, that's quite a combination.
Mm-hmm. Pretty horrific.
Can I have a little search around for any goodies amongst the bodies?
You absolutely can. So as you approach this scene of battle, you find that the individuals who are dressed in armour, they appear to be wearing the uniform of Elvana's Winter Guard, the kind of police force of the city that you're in. You've had a few tangles with them previously. Yeah. You see that all three of these individuals also have cavities in their chest where their hearts should have been. You see their armour has been torn open. And what you also see is that these bodies appear to have been searched. Again, you assume relatively recently.
No goodies then.
Unfortunately not.
Is there any sort of trail indicating whatever it is that did this might have gone in? Can I track?
You absolutely can. Depending on whether you're looking for tracks or you're examining kind of what killed these creatures, give me your choice of survival or medicine.
Okay, I'll go with medicine.
Okay.
19.
19. Okay, so you can see that the three armoured individuals, and indeed the fourth who appear to have been breaking off toward the northeast, they have all sustained injuries from fang and tooth and antler and claw, in addition to seemingly having their hearts ripped out of their chests. The two creatures with the stag's body and the wolf's head, you see they all have injuries that are kind of comparable to the weapons that your companions wield. You see short pinhole dagger strikes, which you assume have come from a small halfling rogue. You see swift rapier strikes that have maybe come from a drunken half-elf champion, and you see quite a bit of magic, and you see quite a bit of evidence of magical damage, sort of freezing and burning, that kind of thing.
Right. Okay. So I guess I'll follow the trail of my companions.
Yeah, I was going to say with that medicine roll as well. It's quite plain to see that the individuals who are dressed in the armor have been dead for significantly longer than the two stag-like wolf creatures. Their wounds are very, very fresh. There is a lot of blood which you recognise as halfling blood in a section of the forest, and you're able to follow that as a trail. It seems to have whoever this blood came from seemed to have head off toward the northwest, and then eventually you see the blood kind of stops, but there is no sign of a body.
Oh.
But certainly that seems to lead off in the direction of the northwest path.
Yeah, well, I think I'll continue along the northwest path and see what happens.
For just one time, you take the northwest passage. Nobody? Okay, fine. Sorry.
No, but explain.
It's a song. It's a folk song called the Northwest Passage, all about the Antarctic expeditions and stuff.
Ah, okay. I don't know it.
It's a good song. Look it up. Recommend you look it up. It was recently covered. Band you might have heard of, Unleash the Archers, Darren.
No, I've not heard of them either.
Fair enough. Well, check those out and check out their cover of Northwest Passage.
Okay.
Very, very good.
Link
Back to the game.
Fam.
Yeah, I will. I will do. But anyway, back to the game. Sorry for spending time shilling new music on you. You continue down the northwest path, and you after a little further journey, sort of again winding through this darkened forest area. The place is eerily quiet as you're making your way through. You don't hear the sounds of many animals. Considering the wider city of Whitethrone is basically in open rebellion right now, you perhaps expect to hear the sounds of combat drifting through, but you don't. It's weird. You don't hear anything. And then as you progress a little bit further down this sort of wooded tunnel, you start to hear ahead of you. First of all, you start to see the crackle and flickering light of what looks to be quite a large fire. You see shadows moving around it, and as you see that light, you hear the sound. You hear the sound of music, and you hear the sound of drunken laughter and carousing coming from a short distance ahead of you.
I am gonna stealthy my way up there and see what's going on.
All right, let's have a stealth roll.
$31.
31, very nice. Like the night, Amos creeps around this corner and into the clearing itself. You enter this clearing, Amos, and as you kind of look around, you can see that in the centre of this small clearing there is what looks to be a large campfire, sort of almost funeral pyre-esque in terms of its size, but it's just leaping up into the sky, and you can feel some of the warmth coming off of it from where you currently stand. You can see that on the far edge of the clearing, basically beyond the fire, you can see there is what was perhaps once a tavern or something, through which a gigantic tree has grown, basically taking the roof of the tavern up with it. Around the fire, you can see there look to be large logs that have been cut down and laid to act as benches and seats. And looking around the clearing more, as you adjust to the light in your surroundings, you see that there are a number of individuals here. There are a number of individuals who are dressed apparently in merchant's clothing, sort of sat drinking on one of the logs. Very much draped across the three of them. You can see that there is a tall, stockily built woman. She's dressed in sort of quite simple robes. She has a braid of jet black hair that cascades down her back. And when I say this woman is stockily built, I want you to think of, if you've seen Encanto, imagine Luisa, the kind
seen
of
what? Sorry,
Encanto.
Encanto.
I recommend it. One of the best things that I think it's Disney, might be wrong. one of the best kind of animated kids things that's been released in the last few years. But there is a character in that film called Louisa, who is kind of the strong sister, if that makes sense. And this woman is undeniably feminine. However, you look at her and you see that she's jacked. Very broad-shouldered, arms, biceps as thick as your head, cannonball deltoids, that kind of thing. This lady lifts quite clearly. This lady lifts, and you see she is kind of draped a little bit over these merchants, and she's drinking. She has a goblet of what looks to be wine held in her hand. That she's drinking and laughing, and she's sort of feeding it to them as she does so. Next to them, you can see there is an individual dressed in the uniform of Elvana's Winter Guard, who appears to be holding a lute. He is holding a lute. He is playing this lute quite badly, and he is singing very, very drunkenly. You can barely make out the words he's saying as he's leading this kind of sing along. And dancing around the fire itself, you can see two other women, much the same as this first one you have seen, except one has hair that is more brown, and one has hair that is sort of a bright, vibrant red. Again, all cascading down their backs. Both of them clutching goblets of wine and drinking and laughing and dancing and looking like they are just having the time of their lives. You can see that one of the women dancing around the fire, the two of them have these sort of quite thick looking bearskin kind of cowls or shawls wrapped around their shoulders. And one of them, as they're dancing, she takes her shawl off and casts it to one side, and you see that she is as well built as the first woman you had seen, who was drinking with the merchants. At this exact moment, Amos, they do not appear to have seen you. What would you like to do?
Oh, I think I might sneak past them and carry on looking for my party.
Carry on looking for the party. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think if it turns ropey, it's not going to be good for me.
Sure. So you are just going to attempt to sneak past them, continue on your merry way.
I think so. As much as I like the idea of getting to know these three large Amazonian type women, although they are drunk, I don't know. I don't trust the situation. I'm going to keep going.
Fair enough. And certainly, what I would say is, Amos, you amongst these people who are carousing around this fire, you don't see your companions. You don't see Della or Ryden or
yeah, and you did say that there's Winter Guard there as well. So
yeah, again, for what it's worth, everybody around this fire, the Winter Guard included, looks absolutely fucking hammered.
No, I'm gonna
see as you're considering, you see one of the women dancing around the fire. She takes a gulp of wine as she's dancing, and she stumbles and she topples to the ground, sort of wine splashing all over her. There is a brief moment of shock as this happens, and then she just starts laughing, and her companion helps her up, and they both her laughing sets her companion off laughing, and within a second or two they're both just laughing together. More wine is being poured and drunk.
Maybe I might join them for a glass. Oh.
It's your choice, man. Your choice.
I'm going to keep going, I think.
Right. You keep going. Let's have a stealth roll as you attempt to creep past.
1.
A 1. Okay. As you begin to creep past, perhaps your own hesitation coming to the fore here, you're creeping forwards to kind of move past this group, but your eyes you're transfixed on these individuals who are dancing around the fire, and you're not looking where you're going at all. And as you're walking, your foot connects with something hard and metal as you kick. You kick what appears to be a metal flagon, a discarded metal flagon, perhaps from the tavern that's just been left in the pathway. Your foot can connect with it, and a split second later, there is a cacophonous rattle as basically you boot this flagon into the trees. It lands with a clatter and a clang, and you see everybody around this fire turns to look in your direction. And as they look in your direction, the light from the fire catches your face, and you see one of the women dancing around the fire, the red-haired lady, who had just discarded her sort of bare skin shawl. She looks at you briefly for a second, and you can see she's trying to figure out if she recognizes you or not. She looks at you for less than a second, and then her face breaks into a massive grin, and she grabs a wooden goblet from her companion, and she starts walking over in your direction. Well, hello there. Excellent timing. I'm so happy. It's my birthday, and another guest from my party. Excellent. Come here. Come and have a drink with me.
Well, I don't mind if I do.
All right. So she kind of I assume you kind of meet her halfway as she's walking across to you, and she presses this wooden goblet into your hand, Amos, which is full with a very rich smelling deep red wine, and kind of just by sniffing it and by seeing it, you get the sense that this is probably very nice wine. And as she presses the goblet into your hand, she says to you, "Oh, so sorry. Where are my manners? My name is Arnia. Welcome to my party. It's so nice to have you here. Come, drink, have a drink, have a dance with us. You look so tired. Come, drink, dance, rest a while."
I would love to, and a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. You're far too kind. You're so kind. Yes, please come. Come meet my friends and my sisters. This is Amina, and she gestures over to the lady who is the black-haired lady who is sort of sat with the merchants. She gives a little wave in your direction, and this is Andra. They're both my sisters. You see, I'm so happy to have so many lovely people around me for my birthday. Come on, have a drink. Cheers. She raises her goblet in a toast.
We'll do the same and try this delicious wine.
Yeah, and as you take some on your tongue, Amos, you instantly feel a wave of warmth and contentment wash over you. This is really good wine. Perhaps some of the best you've had in a very, very, very long time. Sorry, because I know we're getting a bit close to time, but I'm close to having a point to wrap it up. Unless Amos has any objections, you all begin to dance and to drink and to revel and swapping nonsense stories and playing music, and this devolves into just the kind of the nicest house party you've ever been to.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's late at night. You're dancing around a fire. Every now and then, some roasted meat is brought out for everybody to partake in. And the curious thing is, no matter how much wine is poured and produced, your cup never seems to run empty as you're partying. After well, really, you're not sure how long you're there partying for and drinking with these people. I imagine, as a rough estimate, how many cups of wine does Amos drink? Is he getting blattered, or is he getting nicely drunk, or is he?
He's probably getting blasted.
He's getting blasted. Nice. So after a few hours have passed, you're starting to get a bit weary, a little bit tired. Anya offers you another goblet of wine. You've got no idea what time it is. She offers you another goblet of wine, and as she hands it over to you, there is a thunder crack that echoes through the forest, and actually you see like a bright flash of electric blue light ripple briefly through the forest. You can't quite tell where it's come from, but as that happens, you've just taken this goblet of wine from Anya, and as this thunder crack echoes through the forest, and this flash of light follows, you see something changes in Anya's face. This wide, grinning, ever-present smile that has been there the entire time you've been partying and dancing and drinking. The smile drops, and you see she glances angrily off in the direction of the other pathway, which you were originally going to continue through. You see she starts acting quite erratically. She's throwing her arms around. She snaps and she snarls at you, and as she does so, you see her face contort briefly into that of a beast before snapping back to hers. And you look around the clearing and you see that her sisters are acting in similar manners. And then a few moments later, the three women, Anya, Andra, and Amina, almost as one, they raise their heads to the sky and they let out just a bellow of rage and anger and fury. And you watch as the three of them transform into giant bears.
Fuck's sake.
A second or two later, you watch as the Winter Guardsman is torn limb from limb. The three merchants scatter, these three bears sort of chasing after them. As you're just kind of there wondering exactly what has just happened. Anya, this woman who had torn the Winter Guard apart, she's tossing him around like a rag doll, and you watch as one of his arms separates from the body itself. The body comes flying in your direction, striking you clear in the face, leaving you in darkness. And that is where we leave it for tonight.
Fuck's sake.
Tales from the 20 Side is a Feagle Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Alexander Nakarada and editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Discord by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.
I should. Well, I did try to keep going.
Yes, I'm going to go rescue my friends. Oh, look, a drink.
It wasn't so much the drink; it was the three muscly women.
I've got this image in my head of as they transformed into bears, their clothes sort of like would obviously be too small for a bear, and it rips and shreds and falls to the floor, which leaves them as bare naked ladies.
Episode title for the next one, perhaps.
If I had $1 million.
Buns! Got to be done. Got to be done. How's it feel to be back?
Great. Well, we'll see what happens next time.
That's it. Hope you can make the next one now, so we can have the party find you,
Yeah.
or find what's left of you. Who knows?
Oh, crikey!
Yeah, maybe actually, I decided I'm just going to kill you off. That's it.
That's fine.
When you eventually get some time, you'll be back with a new character. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. Don't worry. Don't worry.
It's good to know that the Winter Guard are pretty harmless.
Wait.
I'll get me caught.